Section 1, you will hear a briefing of a person. First, you have some time to look for questions 1 to 10.
Good morning everyone, and thank you for coming along to our information session about the new weekend volunteering program here at Greenfield Community Center. I can see a few familiar faces from our Thursday yoga sessions. Welcome back. Now, the purpose of today's talk is to outline what the new program involves, how you can participate, and, of course, what benefits you can expect both for yourselves and for our local community. Let me begin by explaining why we started this program. Over the last 2 years, Greenfield has expanded quite a bit. We've had an increase in both membership and events, but our staff numbers have stayed about the same. So, instead of hiring more full-time employees, we decided to open up volunteer opportunities mainly for weekends, when the center is at its busiest. You don't need any specific qualifications or previous experience, although some roles such as those involving children's activities will require a short background check, which we'll arrange for you at no cost. Now, there are 3 main areas where we're currently seeking volunteers. The first is outdoor maintenance. This includes simple gardening work, such as planting seasonal flowers, trimming hedges, and occasionally painting fences. You don't have to bring your own tools, we'll provide everything you need, but we do ask that you wear sturdy footwear and weather-appropriate clothing. The second area is event support. Volunteers help set up tables, guide visitors, and distribute leaflets during fairs and exhibitions. This is ideal if you're sociable and enjoy meeting new people. Some of our past volunteers have even found part-time paid work through the contacts they made here. And the final area is cafe assistance. The cafe team mainly needs help on Saturday afternoons. You'd be serving drinks, washing dishes, and occasionally helping prepare sandwiches. Don't worry, full training will be provided before your first shift. Now, let's talk about the time commitment. We ask for a minimum of 2 hours per weekend, though you can choose whether to work on Saturday, Sunday, or both. Morning sessions run from 8:30 to 11 o'clock, and afternoons from 1:30 to 4 o'clock. You're welcome to stay longer if you'd like, but please note that we can only cover travel expenses for up to 3 hours per day. Speaking of expenses, while we can't offer payment, we do provide a free lunch to anyone volunteering for more than 2.5 hours in one day. And if you complete at least 10 sessions, we'll issue an official volunteer certificate, which can be useful if you're applying for jobs or university courses. Let's move on to how to apply. You'll find an online form on our website under Community Get Involved. Make sure you select Weekend Program, not General Volunteering, otherwise your application might go to the wrong department. Once you've submitted your form, you'll get a confirmation email. We'll then invite you to a short orientation meeting here at the center. These are held every second Wednesday at 6 p.m. except during school holidays, when they're on Thursdays instead. Don't worry if you can't attend the first one, we hold them regularly. After that, you'll receive your volunteer badge and a small welcome pack, which includes a handbook, a reusable water bottle, and, for those helping outdoors, a pair of gardening gloves. Now, a few important rules. Volunteers must sign in and out at reception each time they come, even if it's just for half an hour. This helps us track attendance and ensure safety in case of emergencies. Also, please arrive 10 minutes before your session starts, so we can give you any updates or changes to your task list. Oh, and one more thing, please avoid bringing pets to the center during volunteer hours. We've had some issues with allergies and safety concerns, so unfortunately, only registered guide dogs are allowed on site. Lastly, I want to mention something new this year: our Volunteer of the Month award. Each month, one participant will be selected for outstanding dedication or creativity. Winners receive a £20 gift voucher for the Greenfield Garden Store and have their photo displayed in the main hall. So, if you're someone who enjoys teamwork, spending time outdoors, or simply giving back to your community, this is a wonderful opportunity. Before I finish, just a quick reminder. Applications close on the 28th of this month, and the first volunteering weekend starts on the 6th of next month. That gives you just over 2 weeks to sign up and attend the orientation meeting. Alright, that's everything from me. If you have any questions, I'll stay behind for about 15 minutes. You can come and chat, or pick up one of our information leaflets from the back table. Thank you very much for listening, and I hope to see many of you joining the Greenfield team soon.
Section 2. Now, look at questions 11 to 20 for some time because you will not hear the audio again.
About the new Riverside Bike Share Scheme. I'm Daniel Morris, the city's transport coordinator, and over the next 10 minutes or so, I'll be explaining how the system works, where you can find the docking stations, and what safety and pricing regulations you should be aware of. Now, the idea of a public bike share system isn't exactly new. You might remember we first proposed it around 5 years ago. In fact, some of you may have attended the earlier consultation meetings, but at that time, funding was withdrawn due to budget constraints. This time, however, we're delighted to have secured a partnership with EcoMotion, a private company that already runs similar and very successful projects in Manchester and Bristol. The main purpose of the Riverside scheme is not only to reduce inner-city traffic congestion but also to encourage residents to adopt a more sustainable lifestyle. According to a recent survey, nearly 70% of car journeys in Albridge are shorter than 4 kilometers, meaning they could easily be replaced by a short cycle. So, the scheme aims to provide a faster, cheaper, and greener alternative for those everyday trips, whether that's commuting to work, popping to the shops, or visiting friends. We also hope the scheme will help connect people to the new Riverside Park development, which will soon be a car-free zone. In fact, access roads there are being redesigned with dedicated cycle lanes and small rest areas every 500 meters, which should make cycling much safer and more enjoyable. Now, let's look at how the system works. In total, there will be 120 bikes distributed across 18 docking stations in and around the city. Each bike comes with a smart lock, which can be opened using a mobile app. You simply download the EcoMotion app from Google Play or the Apple Store, create an account, register your payment card, and you're ready to ride. And, by the way, you don't have to return the bike to the same station. Any available dock in the network will do. There are 2 main payment options. For casual users, there's a simple pay-as-you-go plan. £1.50 for every 30 minutes of riding. This is ideal for tourists or residents who cycle only occasionally. However, for regular users, the monthly pass is much more economical. It costs £12 per month and allows unlimited rides, each lasting up to 45 minutes. If you go over that time limit, there's an additional charge of £1 for every 15-minute block. Now, one thing to remember: the system automatically deducts that charge even if you return the bike just 1 minute after the limit, so do keep an eye on your app timer. There's also a yearly membership plan, priced at £110, but that will only be introduced if the pilot phase proves successful by the end of next summer. A few people have asked about discounts. Unfortunately, the student discount we'd hoped to offer this month has been postponed. The university requested extra safety barriers and lighting around the campus docking station, so that scheme will now launch in March next year. Senior citizens, however, can already receive a 10% discount on all monthly passes. Just bring your ID to the town hall office to activate it. Moving on to the docking stations. The busiest ones are expected to be Central Station, Market Square, and Riverside Park Gate, since they're all close to major transport links. But don't assume that every station will have the same number of bikes. Smaller suburban stations, such as Maple Avenue and Hilltop Road, will have only 5 or 6, compared to almost 20 at the larger city center locations. Each station will also have a small digital display showing how many bikes are currently available and how many docking spaces are free for returns. Now, a few words about safety and maintenance. Helmets are not provided, because in previous trials they were often not returned or were damaged. However, all bikes come with automatic front and rear lights that turn on in low light. They're also fitted with puncture-resistant tires, adjustable seats, and a small phone holder on the handlebars, something many users have requested. Maintenance will be handled entirely by EcoMotion's own staff. Their team will inspect every bike at least once a week, and more frequently during the winter months. If you notice any fault, like a loose seat or weak brakes, just lock the bike, open the app, and report it immediately. That automatically removes the bike from the system so no one else can use it until it's fixed. Regarding operating hours, the system runs 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, even on public holidays. The only exception might be during heavy snow or when the app undergoes scheduled updates. These are always announced a day in advance. Finally, a word about the launch event. We'll officially open the scheme on Saturday, the 21st of this month, and all rides will be free for the entire weekend. There'll also be a cycling safety workshop at noon in Riverside Park, followed by a group ride led by a professional coach and local cycling clubs. Refreshments will be available, and participants will receive a small souvenir water bottle. To join the workshop, please register on the city's official website by Thursday, the 19th. Before I finish, I should mention that feedback will be crucial during the first 3 months. We'll send short surveys via the app after each ride. Please take a moment to respond, even if it's just a star rating. It really helps us improve the service and identify problem areas quickly. Alright, that's everything from me today. I'll stay behind after the session to answer individual questions, and you can also pick up a leaflet from the back table. Each leaflet contains a full map of the docking stations, pricing details, and contact information for customer support. Thank you very much for listening, and we truly hope you'll help us make Albridge a cleaner, quieter, and healthier city to cycle in.
Good morning everyone, and welcome to the Harbor Maritime Discovery Center. My name is Rachel Turner, and I'm one of the visitor coordinators here. It's great to see so many of you this morning, especially since it's a weekday. Now, before you set off to explore, I'll spend about 10 minutes giving you a quick overview of the center, what you can see, where to find things, and some guidelines to help you make the most of your visit. First, a bit of background. The Harbor Maritime Discovery Center opened its doors in 1998, on the exact site of the city's former shipyard, which had been abandoned for almost 30 years. The shipyard itself dated back to the early 19th century and was once famous for building some of the fastest commercial vessels in Europe. Rather than demolish what remained, the city council decided to preserve the original docks and turn them into a museum complex that celebrates the region's nautical heritage. Since then, the center has grown considerably. We now attract over 400,000 visitors each year, not just from the UK but from overseas as well. Last year alone, around 30% of our guests came from Asia and the Middle East, which is wonderful because it shows how global the interest in maritime history has become. Now, when you enter the main building, the one right behind me, you'll start in the Heritage Gallery, which focuses on the shipbuilding era. It features large models of early sailing ships, along with photographs and personal diaries from the shipbuilders themselves. Don't miss the interactive display in the corner. It lets you design your own digital ship and see whether it would have survived the ocean waves in the 1800s. That's particularly popular with children, though I've seen plenty of adults having a go as well. Once you finish in the Heritage Gallery, continue through the glass corridor to the Innovation Wing. This section opened in 2016 and focuses on modern maritime technology, things like underwater robots, rescue drones, and renewable energy at sea. There's a short 3D film there called Oceans of Tomorrow that runs every half hour. It's only about 10 minutes long, but do check the screening times near the entrance, as it tends to fill up quickly on weekends. Now, for those of you who enjoy artifacts rather than digital exhibits, head upstairs to the Explorer's Deck. That's where we keep our historical navigation instruments, compasses, telescopes, and even a few original ship logs from Arctic expeditions. We also have a section about female explorers, which we added only last year, to highlight the women who contributed to maritime science and cartography. If you're visiting with young children, you might want to stop by the Junior Mariners Zone, located opposite the cafe. It's a supervised area where kids can dress up as sailors, steer a pretend ship, and take part in small science experiments about waves and buoyancy. Parents can either join in or relax at the cafe, which serves snacks, sandwiches, and of course, our famous Sea Captain's coffee blend. Speaking of food, the cafe is open from 9:30 a.m. to 5 p.m., and hot food is available until 3:30. If you've brought your own lunch, there's also a picnic terrace overlooking the harbor, just outside the main entrance. We kindly ask that you don't eat or drink inside the gallery areas, even bottled water, as the humidity can affect some of the older artifacts. Now, a few words about guided tours. We run 3 different types. The Harbor Highlights Tour, which lasts about 45 minutes and covers the main galleries. The Behind the Scenes Tour, where you can visit our restoration workshop and see how the boats are repaired. That's 1 hour long and must be booked in advance. And finally, the Evening Lantern Walk, which takes place every Friday after sunset. It's quite atmospheric, as you explore the docks by lantern light while our guides share stories about shipwrecks and ghost legends. Just a warning, it's not recommended for children under 10, as it can be a bit spooky. Let's talk about tickets and passes. If you've booked your entry online, you can go straight to the Fast Track desk on the left side of the lobby. For walk-in visitors, tickets are sold at the main counter. Admission costs £12 for adults, £8 for students and seniors, and children under 5 go free. There's also a family pass, 2 adults and up to 3 children, for £32, which can be used for the entire day. If you plan to visit more than twice this year, it's worth getting the annual membership, which gives unlimited entry plus discounts in the cafe and gift shop. Speaking of the gift shop, it's located just before the exit and features a wide range of souvenirs, from model ships and postcards to locally made crafts. We've also recently introduced a small eco-friendly range, made from recycled fishing nets and driftwood. Proceeds from those items go directly to our Marine Conservation Fund, which supports cleanup projects along the coast. Now, for accessibility, all floors are connected by lifts, and we have ramps throughout the premises. Audio guides are available in 6 languages, including Arabic and Mandarin. For visitors with hearing impairments, the 3D film in the Innovation Wing includes subtitles and induction loop technology. In terms of safety, please remember that some parts of the old dock area still have uneven wooden flooring, so do watch your step, especially after rain. Smoking is not permitted anywhere on the site, and please refrain from touching exhibits unless a sign specifically says you can. Before I wrap up, let me quickly mention 2 special events happening this month. Next Saturday, we'll host the Maritime Music Festival, featuring local sea shanty bands and street food stalls along the waterfront. That's a free outdoor event open to everyone, and it usually attracts big crowds. Then, on the last Sunday of the month, we'll have a boat model competition, where visitors can enter their own small hand-built boats and race them in our mini harbor pool. Winners receive gift vouchers for the museum shop, so if you're feeling creative, grab a leaflet at reception for entry details. Alright, I think that's everything you need to get started. The entire museum is open from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m., though most people spend about 2 to 3 hours here on average. If you have any questions after this briefing, please come and see me or one of the volunteers in blue uniforms. We're always happy to help. Enjoy your visit, and thank you for supporting the Harbor Maritime Discovery Center.
Good morning everyone, and thank you for coming along to this briefing session. My name is Clara Watson, and I'm the Community Safety Coordinator for the Westbridge City Council. I'll be guiding you through the details of our brand new initiative, the Community Emergency Preparedness Program, often shortened to CEPP. Now, before I dive into the details, let me briefly explain why this program has been launched. Over the last few years, Westbridge has faced a range of unexpected challenges, from seasonal flooding near the riverside, to occasional power outages during heavy storms, and even a minor earthquake last winter. While none of these caused serious damage individually, Together they've made it clear that we need a stronger, more organized community response. CEPP is designed to help every resident, whether you live alone, with your family, or in an apartment building, to be better equipped for any kind of emergency. It's not just about responding after a disaster, but being prepared before it happens. So, what does the program actually include? There are 3 main components: training sessions, neighborhood teams, and emergency resource stations. Let's start with training sessions. These will run throughout the year, beginning in mid-November. Each session lasts about 2 hours and is completely free of charge. You don't need any prior experience, our trainers will guide you step by step. The topics range from basic first aid, to fire safety, to learning how to shut off gas and electricity safely. One particularly popular session covers emergency communication, where you'll learn how to keep in contact with loved ones even when mobile networks are down. For those who want to go further, there's also an advanced responder workshop in February, which focuses on evacuation coordination and helping vulnerable neighbors. Spaces for that one are limited, only 40 spots, so it's on a first-come, first-served basis. Next, we have neighborhood response teams. These are small groups of residents, usually 5 to 10 people, who act as local points of contact during an emergency. Every housing area, street, or apartment block can form its own team. Their role is not to replace the fire brigade or ambulance services, of course, but to offer immediate help while waiting for professionals to arrive. For example, they might check on elderly residents, distribute bottled water, or help direct people to safe shelters. If you'd like to be part of your local team, you'll need to attend at least 2 basic training sessions, including the one on first aid. You'll also receive a small safety kit from the council, containing a flashlight, a reflective vest, and a whistle. To make coordination easier, we've also launched a mobile app called SafeLink, which will go live in December. Through the app, you can report hazards, receive alerts, or locate nearby resource stations. The app will also provide live updates from emergency services and weather departments. The third component, emergency resource stations, is something we're particularly proud of. These are storage units containing supplies such as bottled water, first aid boxes, blankets, and non-perishable food items. We've already set up 6 stations across the city, at Riverside Park, Hilltop Community Center, Eastgate Library, Oakfield School Grounds, Meadow Road Sports Complex, and Northside Plaza. Each station will be accessible 24 hours a day during emergencies, and monitored by the neighborhood response team of that area. In normal times, they remain locked, but council staff check them monthly to ensure supplies are up to date. Now, funding. The good news is that most of the program's budget, around £42,000, has been provided through a regional safety grant. However, the council still relies on volunteers for logistics, training support, and translation services. Westbridge is a multicultural city, and we want every resident to feel included, so if you're fluent in more than one language, we'd love your help during briefings and community outreach. We're also partnering with local schools. From January onwards, students aged 14 and above can earn community service hours by helping to maintain the resource stations. This not only supports the program, but also teaches younger generations about social responsibility. A quick word about communication during emergencies. One of the lessons we learned from the 2022 power outage is that information spreads faster than facts. Rumors and panic can do more harm than the actual event. That's why the SafeLink app will always be your most reliable source, along with official city radio channel 97.4 FM, which will broadcast live updates in case of network failure. Also, every resident will soon receive a printed emergency contact card delivered to their mailbox. It lists emergency numbers, safe shelter addresses, and first aid helplines. Please keep it somewhere visible, like near your phone or refrigerator. Let's briefly go over the program schedule. November, basic training sessions start. December, SafeLink app launch and registration of local teams. January, student volunteer involvement begins. February, advanced responder workshop, limited places. March, public emergency drill across the city, our first full-scale practice exercise. During that March drill, we'll simulate a large-scale flood event. You'll receive a text message in advance, and teams will test evacuation routes, communication methods, and coordination with police and ambulance services. Finally, a few practical points. Registration for the program is open online at westbridge.gov.uk/SEP, or in person at your nearest community center. Please bring proof of residence and a valid ID. If you're signing up as part of a neighborhood group, nominate one person as your team leader. They'll receive all updates directly. Remember, being prepared doesn't mean expecting the worst. It simply means reducing confusion, staying calm, and supporting each other. The more we plan ahead, the safer our city becomes. Thank you all for your attention. I'll now take a few questions, and after that, you're welcome to sign up at the registration table near the exit. Together, we can make Westbridge a safer, stronger community.